Caitlin Clark's first WNBA season has been marked by both stellar performances and controversial media narratives. Despite her impressive rookie campaign, some media members, including WNBA legend Cheryl Swoopes, have attempted to downplay Clark's impact and abilities. Cheryl Swoopes has repeatedly criticized Caitlin, claiming she's not as good as people think, but now, even the Fever president has grown tired of Swoopes' remarks.
Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah. Now listen,
what you said, there's a lot of
play more.
What kind of things you said?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay. But
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay.
WNBA legend Cheryl Swoopes started a social media firestorm weeks ago when she claimed on the Gills Arena podcast that several players in Indiana's locker room were unhappy because no one wants to play with Clark. Naturally, when Swoopes was asked to name these players who seemed to be upset with Caitlin, she had no answers, so clearly she was spreading a baseless rumor. If there were ever any questions regarding how those internally feel about Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, it was answered when new president of basketball operations Kelly Krauskopf spoke to reporters. She addressed Swoopes' accusations and, in doing so, made Swoopes seem foolish for speaking about something she had no first-hand knowledge of. Let's see what Krauskopf said.
That if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her. She, much like Tyrese Halliburton, she gets you the ball in places that you didn't even know you were open because she passes to space, she finds openings and ways to free up other players.
Caitlin's impact on her teammates has been undeniable. Aaliyah Boston is having the best season of her career and was named to the All-Star team. She also received the second most fan votes of any player. Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston became the first duo in history to record 20-point double-doubles in the same game.
Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from the logo. You bet!
But that wasn't Caitlin's only accomplishment. She also had 7 first-quarter assists, which broke a franchise record. She now has the Fever record for both assists in a single quarter and assists in a single game. On top of that, Caitlin's other teammate Kelsey Mitchell also made the All-Star team.
And it gets away from Clark. Look at Jess Shelley knows. I know she's going to shoot out there. And she still creates the space.
Having Caitlin on the team makes it easier for her teammates to play their roles. They just need to hustle and make the right moves, because Caitlin's accurate passes, including some amazing bounce passes, always find them and leave the defense confused.
Really how her and Kelsey work together and the efficiency of the offense because of the way that she plays the game. And I would think that would be a big draw. I plan on, I think it's an easy picture to paint, to free agents.
Cheryl Swoopes tried to make Caitlin Clark look bad on a podcast. She said things that weren't true, like Clark taking too long to break a scoring record and being older than she really is.
If Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Swoopes even said Clark takes 40 shots a game, which isn't right. The truth is, Clark takes fewer shots than Swoopes did when she played in college.
Right now, probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
A writer named Scott Agnes shared a picture from the Hall of Fame showing Clark's picture right under Swoopes' banner. Fans thought this was the Hall of Fame's way of playfully poking fun at the situation. One fan called it next-level trolling. Let's see what Scott Agnes tweeted. Walking around the Basketball Hall of Fame, and Caitlin Clark is already featured. Just a 22-year-old rookie. Not bad. Also, bonus points for whose banner she is below. Fans thought this was clever and funny. One fan commented, "The Hall of Fame with next-level trolling." Many people thought the Hall of Fame was making a joke about the whole Swoopes-Clark situation. They saw it as a playful way to comment on the ongoing story. Swoopes is a big deal in basketball. She won the WNBA championship 4 times and was so good that people called her the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. She's in the Hall of Fame, getting in at the same time as the famous NBA player Shaquille O'Neal in 2016. When she was put in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017, Swoopes was really happy to be honored in Houston, where she accomplished so much during my professional career. The Swoopes-Clark story started back in 2023. Clark, who was amazing at Iowa, took her team to their first championship game. During the NCAA playoffs, she scored 191 points, breaking Swoopes' old record of 177 points. Swoopes pointed out that Clark took 6 games to do this, while she only needed 5 games when she set the record. Since then, Swoopes has often seemed to downplay how good Clark is. Clark had an incredible first season in the WNBA. She was the first rookie to get a triple-double. That's when a player gets double digits in 3 different stats in one game, and she did it twice. She gave the most assists in the league for the whole season. She was also second in making 3-pointers in a single season, just behind another player named Sabrina Ionescu. Clark scored more points than any other rookie this season. For all of this, she won Rookie of the Year. Fans of Clark are really happy about what the Hall of Fame did. One fan said, "Someone who needs a raise," thinking that whoever put Clark's picture under Swoopes' banner deserves extra money for being so clever. Another fan wrote, "That's awesome, whoever did is my hero." This fan was glad someone seemed to be poking fun at Swoopes for not giving Clark enough credit. Swoopes has said some things that made Clark fans upset. Early in the season, she talked about how another player, Angel Reese, was important to her team, but didn't say the same about Clark. When Clark helped her team make the playoffs, Swoopes said it was because of the whole team, not just Clark. Some fans think Clark will be in the Hall of Fame herself one day. One fan commented, "I mean, they ain't wrong," hinting that Clark belongs there with the greats. Another fan mentioned that the Hall of Fame already has some of Clark's stuff from college, like a piece of the net and the scorebook from CC breaking the NCAA scoring record. The Hall of Fame's display shows both how great Swoopes was and how amazing Clark is becoming. It brings together 2 generations of great players, even if there's been some tension between them. This has gotten people talking about how we compare players from different times and how we should appreciate new stars while still respecting the legends of the game. Clark has been amazing for the Indiana Fever team. She's helped them win more games this season than they did last year. Clark has broken many records too. She got the most assists ever for a new player, beating a record set by a WNBA legend. In one game, she had 19 assists, which is the most ever in a single game. She's also the first rookie to get a triple-double and has the most double-doubles for a rookie guard. By the end of the regular season, Clark had given 321 assists. This was more than anyone else in the league, even the experienced players. Her great playing showed everyone how talented she really is. It's not just her team that thinks Clark is great. LeBron James, a famous basketball player, said Clark has vision and spirit. He thinks people want to play with her and that the Fever will be a really good team soon. When Clark started in the WNBA, people expected a lot from her. Most new players sit on the bench and learn, but Clark started playing right away and made a big difference. She had to help make the Fever team better after they hadn't been good for 7 years. Clark has shown she can handle all this pressure. This is why other players want to be on her team. In basketball, players usually want to play with someone who is as good as Clark. Caitlin Clark's influence on WNBA viewership has sparked a heated exchange between ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith and WNBA legend Sue Bird. The debate centers around the league's viewing figures following Clark's stellar rookie season. Clark, drafted as the #1 pick for the 2024 campaign, enjoyed a remarkable first season in the WNBA. Her impressive performances earned her the Rookie of the Year award, securing an astonishing 66 out of 67 votes.
And the Big Ten all-time assist record is hers and hers alone! Caitlin Clark behind the back, on the spin, to the hole, and one.
Right here, just staying on balance, taking the contact, getting the and one.
However, since Clark's Indiana Fever was eliminated from the playoffs after a loss to Connecticut's Sun, concerns have arisen about WNBA broadcast viewership. Smith previously hinted at these concerns, prompting criticism from Bird. In response to Bird's comments, Smith fired back during Saturday's episode of The Stephen A. Smith Show. Let's see what Smith said.
And to be quite honest with you, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with Sue Bird, okay? Sue Bird, Hall of Fame caliber, Sue Bird, WNBA, college basketball. Matter of fact, one of the best people that I've ever met, or one of the best women I've ever met in professional or collegiate sports. I love her. But I didn't appreciate this article that I read, okay, when it came to her talking about yours truly. Because you see,
I understand his frustration. He's always honest, even when it's about someone like Sue Bird. Smith continued, defending his position.
Talking about the story is the story, Sue Bird. What was Stephen A. Smith and Shannon guilty of exactly? You know, everybody, Jon Stewart, who I love, by the way, calling Monica McNutt on his show. You know, she rolling out there like they just made a big time movie and she's a guest rolling up on late night television. Why? Because we got in an argument about the WNBA.
Smith is just speaking his mind, and it's hard to see what he did wrong in the WNBA debate. Let's see what Bird said.
Clark are astronomical. She is a big draw.
Yeah.
She brings in all the things. We know this. We've said this. And yes, the games where she's not playing have lower viewership. But in the WNBA playoffs, and we'll use the semifinals as the example, the WNBA playoff semifinal games where Caitlin obviously is not in it because her team lost are still breaking records from previous WNBA years, are still cracking 1 million viewers. I believe the record was at like 930,000 overall viewership, but it got up to like it peaked at like 1 point something.
So Bird's point about growing viewership might be correct, but some fans believe there's still room for improvement in the WNBA. The former WNBA star went on to criticize ESPN broadcasting duo Smith and Shannon Sharpe for their comments on the matter.
Oh, really high, and they're still really meaningful, and they still show and tell a story of the viewership that is being gained in the WNBA. And yet some people continue to flip that. Those people, I've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Shannon Sharpe talk about it. And that's what I just don't understand is they work for ESPN. So why are you hating on a product? What are we calling a product? A platform? What's it called?
Product. Yeah.
A product
This
that
is a product
that ESPN
that they invest in.
Yeah, that's where these viewership
It's your
numbers are coming.
product.
Yeah, it's a business you're in. It's not that they can't. And by the way, it's not that they can't be critical of certain things. They can have their opinions. But that's where I don't understand the framing of that. That's where it loses me.
900 and something thousand people got on their devices and watched the game.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten into like the NFL Sunday of it all.
Smith, in his rebuttal, argued that he was simply doing his job as a journalist by pointing out the decline in WNBA viewership since Clark's season ended in late September. He maintained that the increase in viewership during subsequent rounds was also a result of Clark bringing in new fans, some of whom have continued to watch. The 56-year-old ESPN analyst couldn't understand why some WNBA superstars wanted to diminish Clark's impact. He drew a parallel to the NBA, recalling how Larry Bird and Magic Johnson acknowledged Michael Jordan's contributions in elevating the league, despite him replacing them as its face during the late 1980s.
Magic Johnson did great things for the NBA. Larry Bird did great things for the NBA. But when that brother Michael Jordan came along, they stood down. Not on the basketball court competing against him, but nobody complained about the shine he received. One reason was because they knew he deserved it. You know what the other reason was?
Smith urged WNBA greats to follow suit.
It built the profile of the NBA and made the ratings blow up. And took it off a tape delay and put it on primetime television and ultimately assisted in it becoming an international globalized brand. That's what happened. That's what happened. And if the ladies, meaning all of you collectively, grasp that concept fully, devoid of resentment, you too shall reap the benefits of somebody like Caitlin Clark coming along and anybody with a similar impact who follows.
Arguing, Smith expressed his annoyance at Bird questioning his journalistic integrity. He maintained that he has tried his best to cover the Caitlin Clark story in the most objective way possible, viewing Bird's criticism as unnecessary. The debate has highlighted the ongoing discussion about the WNBA's growth and the impact of star players on its viewership. While Clark's influence is undeniable, the league's overall growth and the contributions of other players remain points of contention. As the WNBA continues to evolve and attract new audiences, the conversation surrounding its viewership and the role of individual stars is likely to persist. The clash between Smith and Bird underscores the passion and varying perspectives within the basketball community regarding the league's trajectory and the recognition of its talent pool. With Minnesota Lynx leading 1-0 in their WNBA final series against New York Liberty, the focus remains on the court as the league seeks to capitalize on its growing popularity and the star power of players like Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin, congratulations on being Rookie of the Year for the WNBA. What an amazing accomplishment. Who would have thought that all those years ago back in Des Moines, Iowa, that this would be the case right now?